Darkness doesn't move unless someone's willing to step right into it. Well, today we have two ministry partners who do exactly that: rescuing, rebuilding, and restoring. Today we're talking about the people who go where most won't. Join us as we talk about it.
Welcome to the Morning Manna Podcast. You're invited to the table for real conversations about faith, culture, and the everyday pursuit of loving God, loving each other, and loving the world around us.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Morning Manna Podcast. We're so glad you're tuning in. Thank you so much. We are in the midst of our ROC series. More about that in just a moment. But first, I'm your host, Nick Ertel, and today we've got our lead pastor, Chris Fletcher.
This is what my voice sounds like.
Woo. And we've also got Clayton Butler. He's the CEO of Agape International Missions. Welcome.
Hey, glad to be here.
Can I call you Clay?
Yeah.
Great.
Wow, okay. There we go. We've got nicknames already. But we've also got Pastor Rafal from Poland.
And my last name is?
Okay, so I've been practicing this. And so I want to say Pastor Rafal Piekarski.
No. Sorry about that. See you guys.
Piekarski.
Yes, there you go. Piekarski.
Piekarski.
No.
Without R. Piekarski.
Stop kowskiing him.
I am so
You
sorry.
can do it with
Come
me.
on, dog.
Chris, it's your turn.
It is an honor to have you.
It's great to be here. Looking forward to
Pastor
this.
Rafal from PROEM. And
Yes, sir.
We'll get more.
Can I call you
into
Rafa?
that.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. And who are you?
I'm Nick. Hi, nice to meet you.
What am I going to call you?
I thought you were talking to someone else.
Can I call you short?
I am average height, okay? I am not tall, but I'm also not short, okay?
Okay.
I'll have everyone know, okay?
Sure.
I am follically challenged. I'll give you that,
Yeah, that's good.
okay?
You got your dress hat on.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah, all right. Well, Pastor, producer Bryson,
That's it.
what do you got for us?
Well, we have two questions. One is just for Chris. Chris, can you say Rafal's last name for us?
Yes.
Pikowski?
No, that's not it.
Piekarski.
Piekarski.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
There you
Piekarski.
go.
That's good.
Roll your R. You're
Piekarski.
Yes.
you can
And
roll
then-
your
well.
R.
Piekarski.
And now, Clayton, your turn. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
We won't do that. All right. The real question. So we always open these things up with some sort of question that has absolutely no meaning whatsoever, except for we just get to know you a little bit more. But this question,
Can I just say, I'm curious. Don't stop.
it's the one thing I do.
Yeah, just hush. So I am actually curious. I would love for you to comment, if you would. Are there people who watch this portion, and are there people who maybe only watch this
skip it.
portion? If you skip it, I'm interested in knowing. And at the same time, if you just watch this and you don't watch the meat and potatoes, I'd be curious to hear that too. I'm just trying to learn. I'm trying to learn you. I want to get to know you.
Fair question.
Help me know you.
Or it could be like our wives that just don't watch it at all.
Stephanie watches.
My wife.
I know she does. She's
My
very
wife watched
supportive.
Tanya
Need that
Baker
extra
Nelson.
view.
My
My
wife
wife is watching it now.
watched Tanya. Okay.
Very good.
Okay, the real question. I understand you guys all work in ministry. Ministry can be tough at times. So sometimes we need a little bit of comfort. And I want to know, what is your go-to comfort food?
Oh.
So this could be a meal, or it could just be maybe your go-to snack when you're just having a rough day. We'll start with Nick, so that you guys have some time to think.
I love like classic Southern food. So I mean like biscuits and gravy,
Come on.
or some smoked mac and cheese, or some barbecue,
Wow.
slow smoked barbecue. Like that is.
You talking like a chubby kid right now. I'll tell you what.
Well,
Hot
you know,
dang.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to work out of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, no. I love some good Southern food.
That's good.
Yeah. How about you guys?
What's your go-to, like, what's your biscuit place in town?
You know, here's the thing.
You can shout 'em out. It's fine.
I don't eat biscuits unless it's biscuits and gravy. That's the only time I eat biscuits. I don't believe in them otherwise.
So you
believe
mean
it.
to tell me you've never had the squawking goat? Not that I'm trying to get you to sponsor, but from Maple Street.
Maple
biscuit?
Street is fantastic.
You've never had the squawking goat.
No.
Is this real? As
This
someone
is
who doesn't
real.
live
It's
in
a
the
real
street.
thing.
It's 100% real.
It's like half a
featured
mile
on,
from here.
It's featured on Food Network. No, it's walking distance right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
We're looking at each other like
I have no
squawking
idea what you're
goats,
talking about,
biscuits.
but
It's
Yeah.
I
goat
appreciate-
cheese. It's goat cheese. It's this chili kind of salsa type thing on a breaded chicken breast on a biscuit.
Oh wow.
We're going there for breakfast
That
tomorrow
sounds
morning.
pretty
Clayton.
good. Okay.
Yeah, if you're there,
yeah.
do your thing.
That sounds great. What about you?
Go to, like, if I'm down and I just need a pick, like I need to remember that I'm alive,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
make a run for the border. I hit Taco Bell.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah, I've been dropping that Taco Bell reference so much. Somebody gave me a Taco Bell gift card after last week. So I swear to you. I swear to you. They brought a card and they were like, "Hey, thanks so much. You know, you're doing
Investing
you're doing
into
great.
your high cholesterol."
Investing into your cholesterol problem. Here's $20 at Taco Bell." And I was
Wow. Well, good for
I
them.
like Taco Bell.
What about you guys? So, what are you going to?
Well, in Poland, if I'm in Poland, then I will have my, it's called ptasie mleczko, which is going to sound very weird, but it's called bird's milk. And it is a marshmallow that is covered with chocolate on all parts.
We call that a s'more.
No.
Let him finish, Nick.
It is different.
Go ahead.
No.
Let 'em
What
cook.
you do with this is that you take a piece and you basically, you'll start eating this from every part. Like you bite here and then only the chocolate part, and it leaves you with a little marshmallow at the end, and then you take it slowly, and that comforts you big time. But that's when I'm in Poland. When I'm in America, chips and salsa always. Bottomless.
That's good. Yeah.
Chips and salsa.
Yeah.
If I go have to buy in the store, it's always Tostitos, but the cups.
What was it called again?
The
Bird's
scoops.
milk.
The scoops.
The marshmallow and the chocolate. What was it called?
It's called like in Polish, ptasie mleczko.
Okay.
Say that
And
name.
do you
He's not
pair
gonna
this-
remember that.
Do you pair this with something to drink? It's like hot milk or I don't know.
No, you don't.
I'm trying to figure out. You said it was bird's milk.
No, it's bird's milk, but it has just a weird name. It's
Hot
really
milk?
I don't
it is-
know.
No, it is just. Just imagine Just imagine something that you is chocolate, and it's vanilla flavor, and it's in your mouth and it's melting slowly but surely, and you're just sitting there, and you can be like this for a moment, and
You slowly won me over when I heard bird's milk. I was a little bit nervous.
Whenever I hear of like traditions from other countries, it makes me like. There's like this beautiful story behind what comes from his country. He's like, I come to your country, I get chips and salsa, I get Tostitos. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to run for Doritos. A Taco Bell over here.
Yeah.
On
the border.
Yeah.
Or Chipotle. If I'm like in a very bad mood and I don't know what to do and I want to do it quickly, like when I really eat something and I don't want to think about it too much.
Yeah.
Chipotle. Always.
Well, I'm with you on that.
There you go.
Sounds good.
Sometimes I wonder if the people at Chipotle have been thinking about it at all either, though. Like if you ever like driven through Chipotle, they don't have the greatest batting average.
No, they don't.
Not Skyboat Road, but Rayford Road. Theirs is much better.
Rayford Road is actually not. I'm trolling right now, but last night, boy, they kicked me in the shin. I went out and got food because my family wasn't feeling well from Chipotle, and they messed up everything.
Oh.
It was a significant. Yeah, it was a nosedive. I'm looking at you, Chipotle. We would take your sponsorship, but at the same time,
That's right. We can do better though.
Get your stuff together.
We're rooting for you.
We're in your camp. I'm trying to help you.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Clayton.
Is scotch and a cigar a food? Where does that?
I don't hate that.
Yeah. Wow. That's
It's
good.
a beverage.
That's good.
Probably pizza.
Scotch is a sophisticated sipping.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's a
That's
sipper.
a gentlemanly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a gentlemanly endeavor.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll take it.
That's a
Is
comfort
that your answer?
experience.
Yeah. that's my
Okay,
answer.
dude.
Yeah.
Is that
All
your
right.
final answer?
Sorry if
Love it.
denominationally I like half of the people now are checking out.
You know what?
and no
You do
longer
you,
gonna
boo-boo.
listen.
If they stuck it out this far,
I was going to say we've said much worse things.
Yeah, I imagine the trolls aren't brave enough.
Well, also, once we get like 20 minutes into this episode and they hear more about what you do, I don't know if they're really going to be thinking,
Yeah.
oh, man, he doesn't really follow.
Oh, you just
Jesus."
wait. You people just wait until you figure out what this guy does. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, we would love to hear from all you guys watching now. Comment down below what your go-to comfort meal / food is, or maybe, like Clayton, a little experience that you like to enjoy to calm you down.
The finer
Wow.
things.
But yeah, so
That's good. Also, hey, if you have questions for us, we are about to have an entire episode called the Manna Mailbag. Whoosh. I did that one on my own.
Yeah.
So the Manna Mailbag.
not there.
We're going to have an entire episode where you get to ask us anything. It's AMA. Ask us about faith, about ministry, about family, about aliens. I don't know.
Somebody ask me a question about Nick. Please, I'm begging you. Let me
Or
answer a question about Nick.
Chris's psychology. I've got questions. I'm going to submit some of my
So
own
do I.
questions.
I'm going to ask some questions of myself.
but we
you were
mainly
once
want to hear
concussed.
from you, the viewer, please. We do
Yeah.
not want to hear
Yeah,
more
yeah.
of you guys talking.
Yeah.
More from the viewer. Thank you.
I once got hit in the head very hard. What happened next?
It'll be fun. Submit your questions. Here's how you do it. You email Bryson. No, I'm just kidding. No, you comment down below. I was about to give out your email.
You could. I mean, it's not hard.
Well,
to
no.
guess.
Comment down below. We'll see them. We're collecting them now. We've been seeing your comments, so we're excited for this. It's gonna
We
be.
got you,
it's gonna
Gurkha
be
Puffer.
fun. Yes, it's
No
gonna be
one's
fun.
judging you, bro. Ask your question. Don't
He's
let
got
don't
some
let
good
Nick.
questions.
He does that. He
Some very
does.
good
Don't let
questions.
Nick shame you.
I wasn't shaming him. I think
Don't
he's got
take it.
fantastic questions.
Gurkha puffer.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into the meat and potatoes for today. We are at the tail end of our Reach Out celebration series. In fact, as we're filming this, this is Rock Week. Tonight, we're going to
Can
kick
you
off.
smell what the rock is cooking?
Man, I'm going to rock with you. I'm going to rock
No.
with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
was
wasn't
hoping that's
ready
what you
for
would
this
do.
vibe. I didn't know what this was going to be, but oh my gosh. Holy
It
cow.
does.
Yeah, I don't know if you're feeling the same way.
It puts some of your questions in the prep time. It sort of puts them into perspective. It also lets me know you've never watched this show. So
But also, like, we are
thanks
who
for
we
coming,
are.
Clayton.
This is not a polished show.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the
We're
Reach
raw,
Out
we're not very
celebration. Yeah. So we are, if you're not familiar, we do this every single year. We talk about the Reach Out celebration. We celebrate what God has done through Manna Church over the last year. We highlight some of our ministry partners. We share stats and stories. It's a big celebration, but then we look forward to the future. We look forward to the coming year. We raise money for the projects that we're going to do in the coming year. So that's what we're doing right now.
It is.
And
Right in the
this
middle of it.
week, this is the Rock Week. So yes, can you smell what the rock is cooking? Thank you very much. But
For those about to rock, we salute you.
that's right.
We could keep going.
Rock and roll. Let's do it.
Let's go.
I do want to ask you a question before we jump in
Yeah.
with Clayton and Pastor Rafal. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how what we're doing locally, regionally, internationally.
Yeah.
And you talked about our international strategy. And
I talked about our strategy as a whole, but
yes,
yeah.
yes. But you also mentioned, we just got out of this Acts series.
Right.
And you mentioned how we like the results of Paul's third missionary journey more than his first and his second.
Well, I think Paul likes the result of Paul's third missionary journey more
Agreed.
than Paul liked his first and
Well,
second.
can you unpack for us? I think
Yeah.
the people want to know.
No, they don't.
Well, I think they do.
Okay. Yeah. What I meant by that is I think Acts is both. I think Acts is partly Luke writing. I can't prove this. I think Acts is partly Luke writing a summation, but also kind of a defense. Let me explain to you what this guy Paul has been doing. I think that's one of the things that he does. But I think another thing that Luke is doing when he writes Acts is he's reporting on Paul's learning journey. So you'll notice a difference between Paul on Mars Hill.
Oh, yeah.
When he's preaching his way out of a jam in Acts 17,
In Athens.
and then when he's in Acts 25 and he's standing before the Jerusalem Council and he's like slaying, like, I'm going to lead you to Christ before this is done. And I wish everyone was like me, except he's a totally different animal.
Absolutely.
I think the same thing happens with his missionary journeys. I think he goes through missionary journey number 1, and then he and Barnabas have the split, and so he goes back out for journey 2, and I think he's actually disappointed in what he's seen. So he shifts his strategy. In 1, he just went and did, I'm going to use words, don't react. I'm not throwing shade at 2,000 years of crusades. I'm just talking about how Paul did them, all right? So chill. But he does this crusade type gig, and then he moves on to another city and he plants churches
quick.
and just leaves quick. He's in and out.
Yeah.
So he's just there. He's not connected to anybody. He does his thing and he moves on. It's sort of like the fly-by, fly in missionary thing, and then we're out. We leave no footprint. I think he goes back in journey number 2 and goes, I'm not sure I love those results. So what we see him doing now is he starts going on, but he keeps leaving members of the traveling party. That's why in Athens, it's just him, and the boys are still back. He's going,
That's
hey,
right.
when you're done, meet me up here. That's why he's in Athens alone. So when I preached 17, actually,
Which wasn't the
one of the
best.
points was don't do ministry alone.
Right,
Like, don't end
exactly.
up alone, because when you're in Athens, you might have to back your way out of a jam because you don't know how to shut up.
Right.
That's what he's doing, is running his mouth in the marketplace. So he ends up he ends up on journey number 3, completely shifting.
He's learned
So
some things.
This is where he's going out of Corinth, and now the center of power of the church has shifted. We're no longer power center in Jerusalem. Everything is shifted now to the west, and he's planting. He's bringing leaders to him. He's planting churches. He's visiting churches, and he's strengthening established churches. And he's doing all of his work based out of pockets of bases, essentially.
He's empowering a lot, right?
He's empowering, but at the same time, he's planting and working alongside of local churches. This is where
Absolutely.
we get this idea for the whole local church, the way that we do things now. So I think that the foundation of our strategy is found in the third missionary journey, not the first or the second. I'm not throwing shade at how people have or haven't thought about doing missions and ministry work, etc. But that's why I led into, so then the next thing I did, and I've done this every week of the series, I've kicked into, okay, so we do any and everything through local church, partners with partners who partner with the local church, and the local church. And I mean, I could keep going on
Church
and on.
planning,
The idea of anything that we do, we don't want to ever do something and then step out of having touched and ministered and whatever in here without connecting them to the community.
That's good.
That's great.
Yeah, and I even think about what he did in Ephesus, and it doesn't say it in Acts, but if you go back to the last book of the Bible, Revelation, you see the 7 letters to the 7 churches. Those 7 churches are from that area.
They were planted during that.
Exactly.
Yep.
And it doesn't say that Paul's the one who went there and did it, which kind of implies he's sending people out. It's a different strategy.
He says that in his letters. He writes letters to places that he didn't plant.
That's right.
He was not the one. Yeah.
Yep. So, right on. I love it. I love it. And that kind of takes us to some of our ministry partners right here and what you guys are doing.
That's right.
So, Clayton, I'd love to start with you. So you are the CEO of Agape International Missions. We call it AIM.
Yep.
Right? So AIM. Can you tell us what is AIM all about? What's the mission and vision?
Yeah, so our mission is to free hearts, lives, and communities from the evil of sex trafficking in Jesus' name and in Jesus' way.
Okay, so that is your elevator pitch. I love it. That's a quick elevator pitch. I love it. But let's peel it back.
Now let's get down to the meat and potatoes, Clayton. I don't know if you knew which section we were in, bro.
The nitty gritty.
Here we go.
What is it really?
So we fundamentally do 3 things. So the first thing we do is we rescue. So we actually partner with government agencies. We have a rescue authority within countries, and we will literally investigate, find brothels, shut them down, rescue girls, and have legal guardianship over the rescued minors that are rescued.
Thanks to my knowledge of the situation, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have like, you call them SWAT teams. You actually have people that do the business.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. We have a SWAT team operating in Southeast Asia, and we're building one in Latin America right now, and amazingly successful. I think, I don't remember the exact, I think 2,200 victims rescued. I think 700 plus traffickers arrested. These are all organized crime cases. Substantial cases. So we're just praising God for it. But when they're rescued, our second phase that we do is healing. Rescue on many levels is the easiest part of our work. It's a good word. It's the most glamorous part of the work where everyone's really interested in it, but it is much more easier and linear. The challenge is taking a child that should have been receiving love and affection and a home that has received abuse, the most horrific trauma, and how do you help to provide a rebuilding of that person's life, both emotionally, physically, mentally, getting them caught up on education. So we have homes that are high security facilities, non-disclosed locations where we have on-site education, social work, counseling, school. We even hire the most godly, loving people to be what's called house moms. We have security guards. So it is all hands on deck. We're going to give you everything you need to rebuild your life. And we've had thousands of girls go through that program. By God's grace, we've been going for 20 years now. And I think one of the best things about that is over 20 years, some of the first girls that have gone through a program are now mothers. They have kids. We have multiple church planters that have come through our church. We have famous bakers. And so there's this amazing encouragement that we see of what God's done through their lives. But I'll say something pretty audacious that ties into what you just shared, which is if AIM only did rescue and healing, I would say you probably shouldn't invest in us as a ministry because there really is no lasting impact. If that's all you do as a ministry is rescue and do healing, I'm not saying that that's bad, but the thing that I'm most passionate about is as an organization, we're saying where is the root cause of this problem? Where are the communities, where are the red light districts that are the epicenter of what is driving this problem? And how do we engage the church in that community so that it might displace evil? Theologically, Jesus tells Peter, on this rock I will build my church and the powers of hell will not prevail against it. And so when we look at this issue of human trafficking, we view this as the church has to displace this evil. Otherwise, we'll be spending all our time and energy just downstream from a problem, finding victims and serving them. I'm not trying to disparage that work, but I want to see the lasting change. And so we do 3 things. We rescue, we heal, but we go upstream and train the church to transform the issue at its core. And we're seeing success. I hope you hear in my voice as I'm even sharing, I'm not discouraged. I'm not here to tell a bunch of stories of all the evil and how horrific. I'm here to say on the front lines, we are seeing God on the move. He is a rescuing God who can rescue people. He is a healing God who can rebuild hearts where the world is saying there's no way this girl has a future. And God says, oh, just wait and see. I'm going to rebuild this heart. And not only that, he is the God that goes upstream and is incarnational in these communities, saying, invite me into this community, and my kingdom is going to displace this evil. And so very encouraged with what we're seeing, very exciting with what God's doing.
It's interesting because I believe that darkness will not move unless someone's willing to step right into it. Yeah. That's what you guys are doing. Yeah. And I know you're working in multiple countries around the world, and if I say something that we need to edit out, let me know. Sure. But are you able to say some of the countries that you're working in?
I'd love to edit you out all the time. If that offer still stands, I would love to edit you.
Blur my face, we'll get more views.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. You got a face for radio.
Is that right? Thank you.
We prefer just to say the regions we're in. So we're in Southeast Asia and we're in Central America. And that helps us that just helps us in our work.
For sure. Yeah. Okay. So practically, what does this look like in those regions? Do we have something?
No. I just wanted to say, just because you mentioned also the European area, and I know we talked about it, but is there something that you've been looking at, or you see that as also another hub for that kind of?
Yeah. So we see trafficking all around the world. Our desire is over the next 10 to 15 years is that we have a hub in Southeast Asia, we have a hub in Central America. Our prayer is over the next 3 to 5 years we'd be in Africa, and then we're looking into Eastern Europe or Central Europe after that. Our desire isn't that AIM as an organization is going to solve trafficking everywhere. We don't believe so. There's two methodologies you can do as a ministry, saying, hey, we're the guys that are going to stop anti-trafficking. That is not what we believe. We believe God is going to empower his church and his believers to stop anti-trafficking. And what AIM exists is to be part of that movement and to facilitate that movement. And so what we want to do is to show an example, because the main thing that people need is hope that it can be done. And we're seeing that, is that Christians and believers that step into this issue, they are seeing results, they're seeing hope. And so we want to establish ourselves in 4 regions of the world, demonstrating that Christians living out their faith can have national scale impact, and then coaching outward. So maybe soon we'll be working together in Europe. That'd be awesome.
Making some connections right here.
That'd be awesome.
Somewhere close there, yeah.
Yeah. Can you talk about training the local church, and you certainly do that here stateside, but at the same time, it's the impact of the local church in these neighborhoods and these places you're talking about.
Correct.
Can you talk some more about that?
Yeah. So we are working right now in a community that has a significant trafficking problem, and so we send our SWAT team in. We've documented here's all these locations commercially selling children, and so we have this map, and it's got about 18 different locations selling kids. But then we overlay another map on top of it. Where are the churches? Because we don't want to just go in there and say, let's start shutting these. Well, we do want to start going in there and shutting these places down. But if we aren't pouring into the church that exists in that community to backfill what is happening, we're just going to leave empty brothels that get filled back up with a new owner. And so we go behind the scenes and we start training pastors. We train them with pastors that have been church planters in red light districts that have seen God move in their communities. And so they're not just saying, here's some a Bible study. They're saying, I have seen God transform my city in front of my eyes.
Discipleship.
And if he can do it in my city, he can surely do it in your city.
Come on.
And so they're bringing a testimony, they're bringing a practical experience. But one of the big things, one of the greatest things for us as an organization is having this church planting, a church serving side mixed with a SWAT team. Because one of the cool things is they say, well, what happens when I find a trafficking victim? And what if I don't trust my local police department? You just say, just call us. And so we worked with a school in this area, and we just said, hey, here's the signs of trafficking. And he says, okay, based on that, there's this girl in our school that's being trafficked. We said, great, give us the information. 24 hours later, she is rescued, a pedophile is arrested. And it's like, this is so great. They're just looking for the right mechanism, the right person to call. And so we've been discipling pastors and discipling churches so that the church ultimately backfills as we displace the evil, that they're backfilling that in the community. And it's been amazingly successful.
Can you speak to the need of I think there's probably a good number of people who are familiar with the need of all the human trafficking that's happening worldwide. Sure. Some people may be ignorant and they want to be educated on What does that mean? What does that look like? Do you have any stats of like just the need that we're trying to address?
Gosh, I wish I had better. The stats change every year. They are substantial. There are millions upon millions of kids that are sexually, commercially abused. We think of movies like Taken and Liam Neeson. Those are not a good reflection of reality. The truth is, in the world, there are a lot of orphans. There are a lot of broken families. There are a lot of people that are in desperate poverty. And there are people that take advantage of that, and they create commercial environments where they say, hey, you don't have a mom, you don't have a dad, but I'll take care of you as long as you do this for me. There are people that are migrating between countries and don't have paperwork and are legally vulnerable, and people take advantage of that. And so it's a world that is dark and ugly. I mean, it is probably the ugliest thing I've ever seen, yet Jesus is in the midst of it. Jesus is in the midst of those dark places. It's not this thing that he's scared of it. He is there. He's weeping over it. And as we go and we take steps further and further into these dark places, you think, will God be there when we take a step of faith? He's been there waiting for us to show up for years. He's so passionate about this issue.
And I don't want to focus too much on the dark side of it. That is a reality to this. I do want to focus on the restoration and the rebuilding, what you guys are doing. Practically, what does that look like? So you find, I mean, I don't know what this looks like for you. You're in a city, you know a specific area, you rescue some girls, then what?
So that they will come. So we have social workers immediately there. So the unique thing about our SWAT team is there's a van of people that are like, the kicking in the door folks, but then there's a van of social workers. So the second the door is kicked in, the people are arrested, there is immediately a group of young women who most of them are survivors themselves. And they're sitting there and they have a little backpack that has a mask for the girls, a change of clothes, because media starts to show up and we don't want to bring them out as young kids in scantily dressed things. So we get some pajamas, we get a hoodie, we'll cover their head, we'll get them in a van. And in that van, those social workers are saying, I know you don't know what's happening. I know you're afraid. I was just like you. This is what's going to happen. And they're going to stay overnight with them in the police station. We actually raised money to decorate the police station to make it safe in an environment. They got butterflies. I'm sure the police love it that we painted butterflies all over their police station.
No, but that's smart. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because, when we'd rescue these girls, you take them into this dingy police station, and they're like, what is happening? And so now it's like we have a movie, we have food ready. It's kind of like a sleepover environment. And then the next day, they're brought to our restoration home, and we have a princess party. Now, again, they are bewildered, and they don't know what's happening, but there is this giant celebration where there is a blown-up picture of them, and there's a room full of people celebrating them, and they're saying, we are so glad you're here. We've been praying for you.
Wow.
And we're putting a tiara on their head, and we're saying, I know you don't know what this means, but we believe you were created by the God of the universe.
Come on.
And if that's true, that means you have immense value, that you are a princess. And everything we do, every single staff member, every person here is going to serve you in line with that reality. We're going to get you caught up on your education because there's a great future ready for you. We're going to talk through all the horrific things you've gone to because God's going to heal your heart. He's a healing God. There are people here to keep you safe and to protect you. And so we just start laying this out, and we're saying, you are a princess, and you're going to experience it, not just hear it, but it's going to start changing the way you view yourself. Because you see movies like Good Will Hunting and you think, oh, that's what, you have this counseling moment where you're like, you're special, and the girls break down. That's not really what we experience. We tell them a biblical truth, and every single staff member, from the security guard to the cook to the cleaner to the medical staff, everyone must treat that girl in line with that reality for that truth to take hold. And as staff lay down their life and they say, why are you doing this? Because God created you, because I'm here to love you, I'm here to serve you. And that's why our organization is called Agape International Missions. It is an unconditional, choosing, relentless love that we're saying, no matter what you do. And the behavior issues are tough. Like in the movies, when you rescue a girl, they hug you. These girls, they don't know what's up. They'll spit on you. They'll cuss you. They have no idea what's happening.
Well, their worldview, that's what they're surrounded by.
Everyone has betrayed them and hurt them. So you are just a new person that's going to do that. And so it takes a long time for them to say, what the heck is this? Why do you keep loving me unconditional? Why when and this is a real story, why when I chuck a bowl of hot soup the moment I get there at a house, Mom, and I throw it on the ground and I say, F you pig, you clean this up. Why when I did that, did you immediately clean it up, go get another bowl of soup? Why did you put it in front of me and say, I know you don't know what's happening, but you are so loved and you're so welcome here. And I hope as you stay here longer, you would feel that and understand that. And that happening over and over every day over a long period of time is where miracles start to happen. I can't pinpoint it, but we've seen thousands of girls go through this and they have transformed lives.
I've heard that some people who are rescued from these environments, because they've been so brainwashed, because that's been their worldview for however long, there is a likelihood for some of them that they're going to return back to that lifestyle. What do you guys do in order to, I don't know if you have like skills classes or anything you do to help prevent them from needing or wanting to return back to all of that?
Yeah, there's a lot of pressures that girls will have, especially if they have a child at a young age. They're kind of like, I don't have education, I don't have anything. They've adopted this lie that this is my lot in life. Stop. Who are we kidding? What are we delaying? I have to get back. This is my only way to make money. I'm going to live and die in this environment. It's a really evil, demonic lie that can seep deep into the identity of these girls we serve. But we do life skills trainings. We do job trainings. We, for some that need immediate employment, we have we make products. We make T-shirts. Churches like they do VBSs.
Right. You guys made our shirts.
Heck yeah, we did.
I totally forgot about that until just this moment.
Yeah,
but like all of our serve shirts,
our serve team shirts.
Yeah. They're made by you guys.
Welcome to the team, Nick.
Sorry,
Yeah. And if you're listening to this and you're a church and you have a VBS, you do a summer camps, you do the serve day or something like that, and you need a bunch of shirts made, we will make them for you. And the tag has the rescued survivor that made that shirt.
Yes.
It's an awesome environment.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, in fact, Bryson and I were just talking about this earlier this week, and like I said, I just forgot. But all of our serve team shirts are made by you guys.
Yeah.
And so he was pointing out that when someone serves on our serve team, literally just by putting on the shirt, you're already helping make a difference.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, and that continues to grow. We've had so many churches partner with that. It's been awesome. Yeah.
Bryson, why do we put up with him?
Bryson is a unique individual. He actually loves the Lord, though.
No,
he's
I'm asking why we put up with you, Turkey, not him. What the heck
it never
are you
occurred to me.
about? No, of course not. You're sitting over here like, I've been working here for 10 years. I had no idea.
We do a lot of things.
Unbelievable.
No, that's amazing, though. Yeah. I mean, you guys are making sure that they're not slipping back into this. You're providing a way out. You're loving them unconditionally. Agape, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, you haven't always been the CEO.
No.
In fact, you just took over, 3 years ago? But you've been there from the beginning.
Yeah, I started as a volunteer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, let's talk about the backstory of AIM.
Yeah.
How did AIM get started?
Yeah, AIM was founded by a couple named Don and Bridget Brewster. Don passed away a couple of years ago. This is the foundation of it. He was an executive pastor. God put it on his heart, him and his wife's heart, and he did what everyone would do. He sold everything he had and launched this ministry. And this is why I love Don and Bridget. And I got to see this man behind the scenes. You know, he was beloved. They were beloved publicly, but their faith privately was even more convicting. So they sold everything to launch this ministry. A donor heard about this, and he was a home developer, and he surprised them. He bought them a house and said, "This house is yours. I heard what you did, and I want to give you a house." Guess what they did? The ministry's growing. Let's sell that house. That donor came back a couple years later, said, "All right, you knucklehead, I'm going to give you another house." Sold that house too.
Wow.
And then that donor just said, "I'll stop this and I'll just donate to AIM."
Start giving you money.
Yeah. But I mean, there's not many people that you see that will triple down.
Yeah.
Because what their attitude was, here is this kingdom need in front of me. Either God's going to bring a donor or he's going to let me sacrifice it. He's given me something, and if the donor doesn't show up, then I got something I can sell and give. And there was nothing that they would not give of themselves, of their time, of their energy, of their possessions.
Wow. They
were fully surrendered to God. And I believe that foundation is one of the main reasons that AIM is blessed, is because it's not the story of this guy who got his PhD and said, let me just tell you the right way. The world's been missing my special, unique gift. It is a person that is saying, I don't know if I have what it takes, but Lord, what I have, I'm fully surrendered to you. And I think that's where miracles really do happen. And we're trying to keep that. Even as people start to say, oh, AIM, you're this great organization, you're the model. We say, slow down. We are a bunch of people that have been responding to God, and as we respond step by step, the strategy's rolled out. We didn't come out with some grand strategy. We've been faithful with the step that God has in front of us, and we are saying, Lord, you are a rescuing God. We're not the best rescuers, but you are a rescuing God. As we serve you, as we follow you, we believe amazing things are going to happen.
The power of what I keep hearing ringing in my head, the power of what you're saying, it's not the size of the gift, it's the size of the go.
Come on.
It's the level at which
what's in your hand.
Yeah, what's in your hand? What do you have to play with? Well, I don't have much money. Doesn't matter. It's not the size of the gift, it's the size of the go. It's all about do what's in front of you.
When I stepped into this role as CEO, I really was like, we have 500 staff. We're serving thousands of girls, and I thought, I am not equipped for this. Honestly, I said, I am not equipped for this.
Welcome to the team.
Well, and there's two.
That's where the good stories start.
Well, and there's two responses. You can either look in the world says, look in a mirror and say, no, you're smart enough.
Yeah, that's right.
You're good enough. You can do this.
And doggone it, people are going to love me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or the biblical thing is you say, I am not enough.
That's it.
But I serve a great God. And if all I have is 2 fish and a couple pieces of bread, he can multiply this. And so for me, that's my thing. I remind myself all the time, I'm put in these situations where I'm like, what do I do about this? And I say, all I am is that kid that says, I have 2 fish and I have some bread. God, would you do a miracle? Because if this is on me, we're in big trouble. I don't have enough.
I mean, how many leaders have that moment, though, where they say, I've been called to something that I'm not ready for. But let me tell you, if you're ready, you're late.
Yeah.
Like, God calls us to areas where we have to rely on him. We have to depend on him, because if we could do it all by ourselves, then we would.
I haven't met a great leader who doesn't have that story, who doesn't have that moment where they recognized that this is bigger and this is beyond. I think that's when you tip from good to great.
Well, and that's where you have to say yes to the things that you know God is calling you to, where you may not feel like the most qualified person to do it. But he doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called.
Where are you at, Jim Collins? We're writing your next book, bro.
No, I love that.
Come on,
I mean, that is the story of so many great leaders. I love what you're doing. Now, how did you get involved with AIM? Because, I mean, like, as crazy as this is, like, how does a young guy, you're a spry 25, right?
44.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
How did you get involved?
That's a good young age, Clayton. Don't you let him throw shade your way. You're looking fit.
Thank you.
He is. He's looking pretty. You work out?
You're building up my ego here.
Do you work out? You work out?
Yeah, I do.
Come on, man.
Come on, bro.
Where's the camera?
Chris is working on it.
Listen, rage baiter. I'm not taking your bait. Back to you, Clayton.
Yeah.
How'd you get in this, man? How'd this start for you?
So I'll give you the spiritual answer, and I'll give you, I think, a profound but funny answer. The spiritual answer is, at a young age, I felt called. I grabbed my Bible when I was 11, and I remember I was a pastor's kid, and I remember hiking into the woods one time. I thought this was like a cool Christian thing to do. So I hike in the woods, had the Bible, and I never really understood the Bible, right? But I opened it up. I'm by myself, and I just flop it open, and it flips to James. And James 1:26 or 1:27, I can't remember. But pure spotless religion is keeping oneself from being polluted by the world and looking after orphans and widows in their distress.
Yep.
And it was the first verse that I was like, is that what this book is about, of like living a life of just trying to follow God and help people in distress? And I said, Lord, help me to follow this out. Help me to be a person that can live this out. And God brought mentors and leaders into my life. But one of those mentors and leaders, I'm graduating college, and I said, I want to do something on the mission field. What do you think I should do? He's a godly man. He was the person that led my parents to the Lord and discipled them. He planted a bunch of churches, and so I was picking his brain. I said, what do you think I should do? And he said something so profound, and this is silly. I hope this rings in people's mind. He said, you're not married, you don't have debt, you don't have a house, you don't have any of this stuff. you should be trying to do the riskiest thing for Jesus
Let's go.
you can.
I love that.
He said there will be other seasons of life where you say, oh, I wish but because of this, I can't.
Like, don't waste your singleness.
Yes. He's saying you are in a profound season where you can just say yes to anything. So as you're looking at the different opportunities, I have a motto, which is I was young, dumb, and single. So I should be doing some sort of missions for young, dumb, and single people.
That's good.
And the young, dumb, and single option was, hey, there's an upstart ministry that's trying to stop trafficking. And I said, I'm all in. I'll figure this out. Yeah.
So you, I mean, with all the SWAT things going on, like you weren't some like secret squirrel.
No, one of my favorite memories is I was working with an FBI consultant. We were doing these undercover operations, and he was like, "Wow, this is a really cool operation. Where did you study? Where did you learn?" I said, "Everything I know, I learned from the movie The Departed." And he's like, "Are you kidding me?"
He didn't know what to do with that.
Yeah, he didn't know what to do. I'm like, I have no formal training. We just live in this world nonstop. And so I'm watching spy movies like, oh, that makes sense how they don't tell that person this and they compartmentalize that. And so I just kept watching spy movies, and I'm like,
yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance?
What's this 1 in a million talk?
That's right.
I tell you what.
All right, because every guy's fantasy in their head is that they can do that.
Wow.
I don't want to encourage too much of that.
No.
But what I will say is, as we got more sophisticated, we brought on well-trained peoples and professionals, and we've learned a lot. And I did a small stint in law enforcement.
So Nick can never work for you. Is that what you're saying?
We'll talk.
We'll see. Yeah.
Just kidding. All right.
You said dumb, so it sounded like you fit that part of it.
That's right. Okay, we have time for one story. Do you have a story you want to share with us? Maybe a win, a story, I don't know.
So I was reflecting on this last night, believe it or not. The early days of AIM, I'm sharing all this encouraging stuff. The early days of AIM was just dry soil. It was discouragement. It was every time we went to do a raid, the girl was gone. There was no hope. And we would continue to pray over and over. And I remember I used to drive home to the house I was staying at, and I drive probably by 100 brothels, and I would pray. And I was so frustrated and angry at God because I said, I could be praying at home. I could be powerless back in America, but you've called me to be powerless and right in front of this evil, and I can't make a difference. I see it every single day, and I remember feeling so frustrated, but I kept praying in faith, Lord, would you do something? Would you do something? And to be where we're at now, I always remember that moment of sitting in front of those brothels and just praying that God, we are in a season where God is doing more than we can ask or imagine, and is legitimately a problem. In the last 45 days, we've shut down 11 locations and rescued 107 victims of trafficking.
In the last 45
days. Now that is a big problem. To be like, I'm being legitimately serious that I am now praying, God, what do I do with all these girls you're rescuing? And I think he laughs at me at those moments where I'm sowing seeds in front of this brother, say, God, where are you? God, where are you? And now I am resisting the urge to say, God, would you slow down? God, this is too many girls. How are we going to care for this many girls? Where's the funding going to come from? And we're just in a season where I'm saying, God is doing more than we can ask or imagine. And I'm trying to be that guy with the 2 fish and couple loaves of bread.
Multiply it, Lord.
God, do your thing,
you
because this is bigger than
There
me.
you go.
You may have just alluded to it, but where are you guys heading next? Like, what's your next thing that you're trying to achieve or overcome, and how can people be praying for you?
So we're scaling up our programs in Latin America. Be praying for that. There's some conversations with some governments that we want to just sign on the dotted line and be off and running and rescuing. Yeah. So be praying for favor in that. And we are thoughtfully praying about in the next maybe 3 to 5 years expanding into Africa. Okay. And so just be praying that the Holy Spirit leads, where we're exploring, who we're meeting. We want this to be a God-led thing. Obviously, we're doing a bunch of research, but we're also saying, God, where are you? Work, what's happening around the world, and how can we serve?
Yeah, that's legit. All right, if people want to get more information about AIM, where do they go?
aimfree.org. Aimfree.org. I'd encourage you to check that out. If you can give $5 a month, I don't know if I'm supposed to do a spiel, but I'm going to do a little spiel.
No, go for it.
I would encourage you, if God is prompting something on your heart, just give. Just engage some way. If what you can do is pray pray. If what you can do is give. If you can go. Just engage with your church, but don't just sit and be sorrowful about this issue. If God's put something on your heart, take a step. And whether this podcast is taking a step with AIM or another ministry, take a step. Don't just be sorrowful and sit in that. Know that God is empowering you to build his kingdom in this world.
I love it. Like I said, I truly believe that darkness will not move unless people step right into it. I see you guys doing that. I love it so much. Thank you for what you do.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, happy to be here.
And speaking of stepping into things and planning churches, Pastor Rafal, that's exactly what you guys are doing. So, yeah, you're with PROEM, but can you give us just a little bit of mission and vision? What do you guys do at PROEM?
Yeah, PROEM exists when we say, just a mission statement will be to evangelize the lost, to equip the believers and impact the community. So these would be the three things that we try to do. And it's like a general statement for us, but we would say that we go by three main, I don't know if they are rules really, but it's just like kind of parts of our DNA, which is relationships first. Whatever we do, we just always start with the relationship and try to build the relationship. Then we say process is more important than the product, which is how we go somewhere, how we do it, go about certain things, how we go towards a certain goal is at least as important, if not more important, the way of Jesus, not just the truth of Jesus.
Yeah.
The way we do things is more important than just the final product. So we don't want to lose people on the way. We don't want to just do something beautiful, but on the way be ugly. And the third thing would be team leadership. We practice team leadership on every level of our organization.
So you said relationship. What was the second one?
Process, more important than product.
Got it.
And team leadership.
Team building or team leadership. There you go. Great. So you guys are planting churches all across Poland, and you have 4 pillars, correct?
Yes.
I was doing a little bit of homework. Can you explain what those 4 pillars are?
Yes. The 4 pillars of the ministry. The PROEM actually started as a ministry, as a camping ministry. Can I go about this? Can I just talk a little bit about history?
Go for it.
Before
Absolutely.
we go? Because explaining the 4 pillars may not make sense unless you see a little bit of the history.
Okay.
In 1990, when the wall fell, when communism was over in Poland, Ewa and Mały Dwulat, a young couple, they started a ministry called ministry in Poland that was really about reaching the next generation. And that's always been probably the biggest focus of our ministry, just thinking about the next generation. In Poland, after 1990, there was like a new opening of opportunities. So they thought, okay, what would be a good thing to do? And they returned from America, where they also saw just camps, but not so much church camps, but evangelistic camps. And this was something that was missing in Poland at that time. So they just thought, okay, let's just start with a camp. Let's just start with just one camp. And I love hearing about, what you were saying before, just those little small beginnings that Zechariah is even talking about. You never underestimate the small beginnings. When people come to see our ministry today, they look and they want to, when they talk about school, they want to see the big school. When they talk about camps, they want to talk about, 10 weeks of camps or 21 camps that we do throughout this. Or 2,000 young people that come. But it didn't start like this. Yep. It started with just this one camp for about 100 young people who went, and then the next year was just another camp. Yeah. This was just being faithful in those small little things.
Yeah. It's the power of showing up.
Yes. Yeah. And doing what's right in front of you. I love what you said, because I think too many times when people think about the ministry, and especially seeing the ministry after some time, they want to know, okay, so what was the vision? Oh, you're a man of a vision. And I truly believe in the vision, but I think the vision is really doing the next thing that God puts in front of you and doing this rightly and waiting for the next thing to open. Like we can even come up with, of course there are plans, of course there are hopes, there are dreams. Yeah. But truly what it comes down to is, what is the next thing that God is opening in front of you? And the question is, will you be obedient to go into this, right? To go into this direction. So for us, it started with a camp, and then for 10 years we were praying for our own camp facility where we could do those camps, because it was one camp, there was a camp for youth and children, then it was the Michael Jordan era, so we started basketball camps.
That's awesome.
And it was the TV in the room, and everybody was looking on the VHS. Yes, the video, and then looking what the guy was. This is how you shoot.
This is back in the 90s.
Yes.
Come on.
You'd go. We went to the fields. I was not part of this at that time. My wife was, and you go to the court and you practice. So then basketball camps came to be, and all of this was growing. But we still were renting facilities all over Poland, and every single year we had to pack the whole van or bus and go and unpack and build a tent and do whatever. So after 10 years, God granted us a place southwest of Warsaw, 70 miles, in the middle of nowhere, a rundown camp facility from the good old days.
It doesn't look run down anymore.
It doesn't.
You've been
now.
there.
Yeah, I was just there in October.
But it's been 25 years, since we've been
25 years
place.
make camp look good. You know what I mean? We can do it.
Yeah, so that's when we all moved over there, moved out of Warsaw and moved to this place. And I think with the history, it's also just another moment. Okay, God is giving us this camp. Now the question is, are you going to move out of what's known, Warsaw, Poland, big city, lots of opportunities, to the middle of nowhere where there is just, a slight chance that maybe this camp one day may be operating on a nice scale. And for us, it was really a challenging moment. This was the moment when we were joining the ministry, me and my wife, full-time. We have already been volunteers, then interns, and then we were given an opportunity to join the team. But we knew we had to go and move out of Warsaw to the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So we did, and this was a game changer for all of us. We followed the example of other couples that did that, and it was just a life-changing experience. And when we moved there, we started putting our roots there, and we had children. Our children started growing, and we were commuting to church. And I'm giving you this history because I think it's going to answer to what we're doing now and why we do what we do.
Yeah.
We were commuting to the church that we knew, the closest church that we knew, 70 miles every weekend.
Oof.
The closest church was actually in the city of Łódź, which was about 40 miles, but we didn't know anyone there. And we were from Warsaw, so we would go, our kids, and would go for a weekend to Warsaw. We still had some of our apartments there, come back Monday, and this was going over and over. How long can you do that?
Yeah.
But that's the reality in Poland. There are hardly any churches. Poland is 0.2% evangelical, 98% Catholic. If you want to go to find church that is a living Bible-believing church and stuff like this, you are really in trouble because there's not much in a 50, 70-mile radius.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Did you say you were, so where the camp is?
Yes.
Did you say you were going to Warsaw
Yes.
to church?
Uh-huh.
Hot dog.
Every single week.
And you said
every single weekend.
And you said it's 0.2% evangelical.
Yes, sir.
And that's a current.
And it is evangelical when you count all of the charismatics, Pentecostals, Baptist. There are
All of them.
There are more Jehovah's Witnesses in Poland than evangelical Christians.
Wow.
Is being Catholic like part of national identity almost?
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
Yeah, there is even in our culture, in our literature, that to be a Pole means to be a Catholic, and to be a Catholic means to be a Pole. So if you're not, you're not.
Yeah.
So that's when we were looking in the area where God put us in, and as we were praying, Maui, our ministries director, he said, look, there is a city 10 miles from our camp, 70,000 people, not a single church. He said, maybe we should start a church there. And we were like, sure. Like, okay, so who has been planting churches here?
Sure. Yeah.
Nobody.
Who's the
Okay,
expert?
all right.
Yeah.
Nobody. So we did not know anything about church planting. There's not a single book on church planting. There was none. I think there's one, maybe two, but it's more like stories in Polish. There's nothing. In seminars, there's not a church planting faculty or whatever. You weren't trained. All we knew was the youth ministry, and all we knew was just like doing what's the next thing ahead of us.
So you're telling me you didn't feel qualified
At all.
You felt like you were in over your head.
I completely resonate with everything you were saying here before, because I think That's the beauty of ministry.
Yeah.
That you do not wait until you're qualified,
Yeah.
but you come with what you have and you say, and that really happened. That's how the church got started.
Yeah.
And that's how the school, the third thing, got started.
Yeah.
When we came to that city, and somebody would say, "Oh, you had a vision for the church, right?" Heck no. Like all we knew, one thing that we said is that we won't, if God will let us plant a church, we'd like to plant a church, they will plant another church, they will plant another church. But we did not know what this is going to look like. And we did not even dream of having a school, an education center. That is the next thing that came out of this Tommy Christian Center. All we knew was that we are just going to move into the city, open up a Tommy Christian Center, start with what we knew. Our resources were some Americans, so we taught English. Some people who were doing basketball, we were great basketball, so we open up basketball and soccer practice, like open gym. Hey, let's get together once a week and let's play. Let's build those relationships. And at that time, technology helped us, which was there was no internet or very hardly to get internet at home. So we opened up an internet cafe where people would sign up for 30 minutes, internet free, surfing, whatever. And that was what we had. And the coffee shop. And we were meeting people, and in this coffee shop, there was nothing that we couldn't do. We did workshops. We invited people from the city. We did concert. We did slam poetry night.
Slam poetry, come on.
Is that part of the reason why now that you have the hotel, is that part of the reason you have the cafe in there? It's kind of like a...
Yes.
It's
this
kind
is
of like a...
That's exactly what it is. This is like another version of the same thing in a good way.
Yeah.
Like we believe that where God put us in, this is what we have. And in Poland, I'm not complaining about the resources, but in Poland, first, you've got 0.2% evangelical, so there's not many people to pull from. Then when you go to a city, what you have is what you have.
Right.
You got these resources to work with, so we work with what God gave us. And out of this Tommy Christian Center, two things came to be. One was the church, Tommy Christian Fellowship, and another one was preschool, elementary school, and high school ultimately. We started with 26 children. Maybe I'll talk about church. Maybe we started, the church was just PROEM people, 30 people, and I was not even a pastor. I just didn't even want to be a pastor. I was part of that group of people engaging the city. I loved working on the edge. I loved working with the people who don't know Jesus, to build bridges, to just see how we can connect with them. I was passionate about that. But in my wildest dreams, I was not even dreaming about becoming a pastor. I was not qualified, to your point. I even didn't like the church that much at that time, to be honest. That's why I joined Parachurch Ministry, because I felt like in the church we can't do much. And I felt like in this ministry I can actually work and do and engage, and that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
So there was that. And then the second thing that came to be was the education center. We started with 26 children for a daycare, 3 times a week.
Yeah.
3 times a week, 4 hours a day. And parents came and said, could you please do like a regular preschool? And we said, well, regular preschool, you start early, you end late, you need to have staff. We don't have that many people. They said, no, please, we'll pay. We'll be happy. We just love what you're doing.
Amen.
So we started. And we started with 26 children for a preschool that was growing every year. And then we added the first year of elementary, second year of elementary.
Kept getting bigger.
Our children were part of that preschool, then school, elementary school.
Yeah.
And then after school, middle school, we were like, all right, I think it's time for high school, and there were people like, no, high school, just too much. Can you imagine all those problems in high school? Well,
Sign us up.
Let's see. Yeah. So we did, and that's how today we have a school, elementary and preschool, like a PROEM education center that is about 551 students.
I was going to say, it's a whole situation. When we were there in October, we bumped into like volleyball practice or whatever. And these kids are...
I gotta go see
They're
this.
serious about volleyball and basketball.
I hope our watchers and our listeners are catching this, because not to oversimplify, but essentially you just said the same thing, in that what's in your hand.
Yes.
You may not be able to do
Yes.
what everyone else is doing, or whatever your thought of a successful ministry is,
Right.
but God's given you something. What do you have? He's going to
Yes.
use it to advance His kingdom. That's what you did.
Yes, and sometimes I think in our history, when I look back at our ministry, not my ministry, but the ministry that we've been part of, sometimes you're responding to a situation, And sometimes you are asking God, you're moving forward so that the situation doesn't surprise you. The example is the fourth leg. So I talked about the camp. There was just used to be one camp, and now it's just a camp and facility, a camp and retreat center, PROEM Zako, where we do camps, but also do camps for young people, and we also rent this facility for the church in Poland. But we also do 2 interactive shows, Journey to Bethlehem and Road to Jerusalem during Christmas and Easter. Then I talked about the education center, 26 children started, 551 students right now, preschool, elementary, and high school, 20 years later. Then the church, Tommy Church, started as a group of 30 people, PROEM people, really meeting together for the sake of fellowship, Bible reading, scripture, prayer, worship, and has grown to one church in 3 locations that we planted in the area, and for about 400 people in attendance. And then the last thing is the PROEM Help, which is our help center for that was really called to be because of a crisis. In 2022, the war with Ukraine, Russia invaded Ukraine, and day one there were hundreds of thousands of people streaming towards the refugees coming through Poland. So because of the camps we were doing, we already knew some people who were in Ukraine. They were coming to our camps. We would do basketball international camps with them, and they were texting us even before the war first started. It was like, hey, if that happens, can we come? And we were like, of course you can come. And I don't know how many times we said, of course, but I know that on the very first Sunday, we had 30 people who came, and it was like 2 or 3 days after the war first broke out. And then within the next week, the camp was full. We had 200 people, and the people were coming and going. So within the next 3 months, March, April, and May, we had about 900 people who came through that camp. We stopped everything else what we were doing, and we just said, okay, this camp is going to serve the refugees right now. But at the same time, we signed up, we opened up our registration for summer camps for youth and children. And we had 2,000 kids signed up for the camps. 2,000. They were starting, at the end of June and going through the mid-August. So we knew we had to do something. And as I'm talking about responding and looking forward, the response was, okay, here are the refugees. We have never been a rescuing mission. We've never been a refugee organization. But because this is what happened, we knew we have to.
It's on your doorstep.
Right. We have to respond to a crisis.
That's awesome.
So with what we had, we responded the best possible way. But then we started thinking, all right, what are we going to do with these people? Like, this war is not going to end up soon. It's not going to end up in 1 day, in 24 hours, in 5 days, in a week, in a month. It is going to go for probably an extended period of time. Yeah. And we started praying about the place where we could put the refugees and care for them. But there was no place like this. And then I called this one hotel in the city, and I asked the guy, I said, we have the refugees. We would pay for them if you could help us. You just rent a hotel for them. We'll be paying for them. And he said, no, I'm not interested. I can sell it. I was like, are you crazy? Like, who's going to buy a hotel, during the war? And he said, no, I can sell it. And we kind of let it go. But then, the weeks were passing by. We didn't see anything that we could purchase or move rent for people. So our ministry director, Maui, he had just this crazy idea. He went in front of the hotel on the street and recorded a video and said, listen, we've been helping the refugees. There are hundreds of them coming. We've been helping them, and we'll keep doing that. But we can't keep them at our campsite, because we also want to continue with our mission towards reaching young people with the gospel in the summer. So we need your help. There's a hotel. It's for sale. We have no money to buy it, but who knows?
Who did he send this video to? Just like put it on the
just
internet?
The world.
No, it was just some of our partners and people who knew the partners and people who knew the other, people who knew people.
Yeah,
it just gets shared.
Yes, it just gets shared. And within when we were raising funds to buy the camp property in the 90s, it took us 10 years to raise funds to buy the hotel.
Yeah.
Then we were raising funds to build the school, because we actually built the school in Tomaszów. It took us about 4 to 5 years to raise those funds. For this hotel, 8 weeks.
Can I borrow that guy? I want to take him. I want to take him to Central America and film a couple of videos.
If you sit with Maui for a couple hours, I did that in October.
Yeah.
You will rethink some life choices.
Yeah.
Like you will. This dude,
he's a great guy.
He's a great dude.
I just love the image of him knowing his promised land, just like sitting in front of it, saying, "I believe God's called this." Like,
but if you asked him, he would have told you, "I'm a man with a little faith.
Yeah.
Help my unbelief."
Yeah.
And it's not in this, in this fake humility kind of approach, but it's truly like, God, this is overwhelming. Like we were saying, that problem, I'm not here to solve all this. And we were saying there are millions of those people. We are not able to solve that problem ourselves. We're not arrogant to think we are the solution.
Yeah.
But God, here is 200 people right now that are at our camp.
Yep.
Yeah.
What can we do about them? Help us serve them and take responsibility for the people that you have entrusted.
And nothing's too big for him.
Nothing is too big for him. And all of a sudden, on May 30th, the last people were checking out of an operating, very nice hotel.
Amazing.
And Maui was signing up papers. And June 1st, our refugees, about 80 of them, they ate breakfast at the camp, and then they had lunch at the help center. They've been staying there ever since.
Amazing.
And many of them who could went and got a job and moved on. But there are still about 30, 35 of them, elderly people with oncological treatment, people on wheelchairs, people with children with disabilities that cannot go anywhere.
Yeah.
And the war is still there.
Yeah.
And every single month, every single time when we're praying, we're asking God, and we're asking people, we're saying, hey, the war is not over. Will you help us help the Ukrainians live for another month in our facility? Because it's not for us. We're not raising $30,000 a month just for the sake of our own pleasure.
Right.
It's to pay the bills. It's to buy food. It's to make sure that people who have nowhere to go to, because they also have no place in Ukraine, that they could be.
I feel like sometimes this. Maybe it's amusing God, some of those mountains that we have to climb that we think, oh, this is too big, this is too tall. But he also walks on streets of gold. He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. And like your 5-year project.
Just sell one of those cows, Lord. Give us the proceeds.
That's right. Yes. That's right. In 8 weeks, boom, there it's done.
I do want to point out for our listeners, watchers at home as well, though, there are a couple of themes that are starting to pop out. And this is if you're picking up on when I said in the message, like we want to vibe with people that we vibe with.
That's right.
Like you're picking up the vibe right now, number one.
Yep.
Number two, there is such power to go and doing what's right in front of you, reacting and responding to where the Lord has you. But number three, man, I think it's really powerful how with no hiddenness or guile, we talk boldly and clearly about impact's not free.
Right.
At the end of the day, I'm not trying to step on your toes here, but let me step on your toes a little bit. God has blessed our nation and our country and us in a way that is just ridiculous, frankly. And so I think that part of the reason that he's done that is so that we can take what he's given us and use that to quickly answer. You said 8 weeks. Imagine the impact if that 8 weeks had been 8 months. What is the impact of the fact that happened in 8 weeks versus 8 months? The human collateral, right? Who are the people that needed that wouldn't have if it had been 8 months? So, at the risk of pushing you hard, I think everybody's got to go, and I think that everybody has some level of go that also involves us being generous with what God's given us to take opportunities and moments like this and go, man, we can step into the gap and solve that problem. No, I can't get on a plane, but yes, I can give money.
Amen. We are blessed to be a blessing.
Hey,
that's it. I want to go back to the 4 pillars. What were they again?
PROEM Zaco, which is Camp and Conference Center. PROEM Edu, which is Christian Education Center. Okay. PROEM Tommy, which is Tommy Christian Fellowship Church planting, and the worship band Exodus 15 that travels all over Poland, playing worship music and leading worship events in many, mostly Catholic churches, actually.
Okay.
Where there's a lot of revival happening. And the 4th one will be PROEM Help, which is the help center, counseling ministry, after-school program.
Shameless plug. But we're going to do a short-term missions trip.
That's right.
To PROEM in Poland coming up next year.
That's awesome.
And that's been opened at the ROC. If it's already sold out because you're watching the podcast and didn't come to the ROC, shame on you. You missed it. See you next year. But if not,
No, this is going to be cool.
As a having done it, I would highly recommend it.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And tell the people, so what is your role within PROEM?
I oversee the church part, which is the church and church planting. I'm the lead pastor of Tommy Christian Fellowship.
Very good. And so what is next for PROEM as you guys are seeing vision, and what's the next hill to climb? What are you guys doing? How can people pray for you?
I would say that probably the biggest thing is the next generation of leaders, the next generation of people who will be involved in ministry. You know, there is because of the number of evangelicals in Poland, we cannot really pick and choose who's going to come out of college, Christian college, and is going to knock on our door asking, hey, maybe we could, or checking out, maybe we could have an opportunity to hire him or or her. We have to pray for the right people to be sent our way, or which mostly what happens is we have to raise them. So me and my wife, we came to the camp when she was 16 and came to Jesus through the camp. I was 18, 2 months after I gave my life to Jesus, and I just got involved very quickly. We got together when we were 18 at the camp. That's when we met each other. So we've been with that ministry for all of our life, and we've been raised to where we are today.
Yeah.
In the context of the ministry.
You're children of the house.
Yes. Now we have our children, but not just biological children, but also children, people who used to be coming to our camps as children, 6, 7, 8-year-olds. Now they are 17, 18. They're about to go to college, and they're asking, is there something there for me that God has in store? Is there something that, and I think, I think we are with this whole idea of trying to see the next generation of kingdom workers. I think we're fighting a countercultural fight because the world has so much to offer, especially nowadays. For these young adults, to do to dream their life out and just to do whatever the dreams tell them and travel wherever they want and have as much money as they want. That for us to tell them, hey, stop, pause, be with us.
Yes, if I can second that, we had Pastor Chris Hodges on this very podcast right here, and PC said one of the big things with Highlands College is that we're in a pastor shortage. There are not enough people,
not enough laborers
to continue the work that has begun. So, man, I second that, and it really is my prayer here in Fayetteville, Fort Bragg, Manna Church location, that we see a generation of people rising up to answer the call to give their lives to ministry. And the beauty of it is, what we're talking about is a wildly diverse portfolio. Like, what's God put in your hand? We got a wildly diverse portfolio on this show over the last 3 weeks, talking about how I can step into ministry that doesn't have to look like doing my job or doing your job. Or doing it. Look, what does God have in your hand? Let's go, man.
I want to say, I think there is hope, though. I mean, as I look at Gen Z, man, these people are hungry.
Oh, for sure.
And they are entrepreneurial. I know there's like jokes and we like to throw shade at every newest generation that's starting to step into the workforce. But the reality
what a bunch
is
of Bryson Hopkins bums.
That's right. The reality is this, though. They are hungry for authentic spirituality.
That's it.
And they're latching onto it.
Yeah.
So
I
think
they have opportunities to explore, like what you were saying about when you're young, when you could do, like, really choose many different things. You are in the season when you don't only have to travel, to beautiful places for the sake of it. You don't only have to spend your money on whatever you want or party. You can actually go and check different ministries all around the world nowadays to see what God is doing in your heart and to see what He wants to do with you. So that's why we started PROEM Life Academy, which is a residential program for 1 year. We have internships for 10 weeks. You can come and be part of our ministry for the summertime. You can come and work with us for a year, for longer. But we really, PROEM Life Academy is a 1 year program when we give you a biblical education, but also hands-on ministry experience together with spiritual formation and community engagement. And the reason for it is this: many people who go to college, Christian colleges, they just go, they learn, they study, and but then when they enter ministry, all of a sudden they're shocked, because oftentimes the reality of ministry does not reflect what they have been learning in the seminars. So they're like, okay, I don't know if that's true. I don't know how to do that. And there's another thing. I think many programs want to train leaders, and it's all great. The problem is, where are these leaders going to practice?
Yeah.
Who is going to give them safe space to make mistakes, to try things out, to see if I can actually do that or not, to say, you know what, I've tried this for a year or for 5 months, I think, or as I've been part of this, I realized that is not, I always thought I want to be a worship leader. But the truth is, I enjoy working with children in distress, from difficult conditions.
That's good.
And I gave myself some time to actually do that. So this is what we do at PROEM Life Academy. We do biblical education, about 12 hours a week of biblical training, but we also give everybody hands-on ministry opportunities where you can, some of these things you can just try yourself. Some of these things we tell you to do, because in ministry you don't always do what you want to do, but you also do things that are right.
Very true.
So that,
Can't always get what you want.
and we have people from Ukraine, Poland, Tajikistan, Spain, and the United States who come and are with us for a year, live with us in the community. That's also part of the deal. You don't just get to choose to live in some comfortable apartment somewhere out there on your own. You have to be part of a community. You have to learn how to be part of a team, not only on your own, but do it together with other people.
That's good. So if people want to get more information about PROEM, where do they go?
PROEMministries.org.
PROEMministries.org.
Yes.
I have one more question for both of you. We'll make it quick because we're short on time.
Okay.
But how is Manna Church partnering with your ministries to advance the kingdom and really make a difference? So, just whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, I'll jump in. You guys are helping us practically. I mean, we had a couple raid operations where we're saying, would you sponsor this? Will you cover the funds that it took for us to investigate this place, to get a bunch of vans full of people to shut down this place and rescue these girls? And you guys have sponsored that. I believe the raid was like Operation Manna. Was
Oh, no way, you named it after us?
Yeah,
Come on,
for
man,
sure.
Thank you.
Cool stuff, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you guys are literally helping us shut down brothels and rescue girls, and so grateful for that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We're so thankful for financial support that we got even before we became partners, but you were gracious enough to help us with our church planting, and this is unique, to be a blessing to a potential partner, not just a partner. So we're thankful for that, but also the teams, the short-term mission trips that are going, that have already come and are coming next year. This year we had one team. Next year we're gonna have 2 teams, and you are really making a difference. And could I only share one really short story from the Life Academy?
Sure.
So because it connects all of these other things, we had this guy who came. His name is Kola, and Kola came to Poland because he was he was right before his 18th birthday, and he came because if he was 18, he could have been enlisted to the army. So he came and just lived in the city of Łódź. He had some friends that were with us, and they told him about PROEM Life Academy, that we were starting this. So he came, hardly knew Polish, hardly knew any English, but he came and he said, "Could I be a part of the program?" I said, "Okay, well, tell me your story. Is there, are you a Christian?" He said, "No, I've been with Christians for all my life, but I have never figured it all out. I would like to I just would like to learn more. And if you allow me, I'll do whatever you need me to do, but I will be loved." So he said, okay, he stayed with us. And Kola was this one fully devoted, very attentive guy who was there to listen, to digest, to really learn about Jesus. And at the end of his residency, he said, "I knew about God in my head, but now I realized he is actually the Lord of my life, my Lord and Savior." He gave his life to Jesus, and we baptized him at the very end of his residency. And I'm sharing this not just to share a story, but to let you know what you as Manna are a part of when you are partnering with us, when you're coming with your teams, when you're helping us financially.
That's cool. That's cool.
Pastor Chris, as we wrap up this series, I want to ask you, what are you hoping that people at Manna Church, what do you want them to walk away with?
Yeah, we've already said it right here. I think every one of us feels, if you don't, I feel it. I pastor the church, and I feel like there's another level to go. There's another level to the all in, right? Like every time as you get older, as the Lord adds things to your plate, you got to constantly reevaluate what it looks like to go and be all in at this season and phase of my life. And so I think there's one of those for each and every one of us. And that's what I want everyone to walk away with. By the time we're done on Sunday night, I want every person to hear, go, make disciples,
Amen.
Baptize, teach. And I mean, if I haven't already made the case in the messages on Sunday why that was not a command for the 11, but the all,
that's right.
Then you ain't listening.
Right. So what can we do?
What can we do? Well, there's a bunch of things you can do. You can pray. You can join. We talked about short-term missions. We talked about Serve Team. If you're in the local in the Fayetteville, Fort Bragg region, if you're local in this region and you're not already a part of a local church, then I can tell you need to find a local church and be plugged in. Everyone on this panel for all 3 weeks would agree with that statement.
Yes.
You need to be plugged in both to your relationship with Jesus, but relationship and community. It's just the way our faith was meant to be walked out. It has to happen. At the same time, you can give. And here's where I'll be bold. Impact's free. What am I saying?
The gospel's
free. Impact is never free. So wherever you are, you're watching this right now, if you want to make a donation to help with the Reach Out celebration, our budget is $700,000. That includes these gentlemen and everyone you've seen on this show for the last 3 weeks. If you want to make a donation, you can scan the QR code. If you're watching on your phone, we've included the link in the show notes. You can give. I've watched weird gimmicky ways. I'm a pastor's kid. I've only ever done one thing. So I've been in these weird gimmicky, like, here, we're going to try to get you to give things since I was a child. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. I don't really feel like God's given me the gift to do anything other than say, don't give what I tell you. Give what God tells you.
That's good.
Ask him. At the end of the day, you want to hear, well done, good and faithful servant. You don't want to hear that from me. You want to hear that from him.
Amen.
I don't want to hear that from you. I want to hear that from him. So I think that each and every one of us needs to ask God what he'd have us do. I think you need to be faithful to what God has called you to. I think you need to be faithful to do what he's called you to do, to give what he's called you to give, to pray as he's called you to pray. Do what he says and live in connection to him and in connection to his church.
Amen.
Do it.
That's good. So I want to plug the websites one more time. So we've got aimfree.org and we've got PROEMministries.org, correct?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So you can get more information there. Or if you want to give, like I said, we had the QR code on the screen, or you can go to manna.church. We do have the link in the description below if you want to give to the Reach Out celebration. But I want to say, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being on the podcast. Pastor Chris, would you pray for them?
Oh, for sure. Lord, thank you for Clayton. Pastor Rafal, Lord, I pray that you would bless the work of their hands. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May he lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. May your families grow and prosper. May each and everything you put your hand to, may you find his peace and his favor and his blessing. May you always be the head and never the tail. May you always feel the wind at your back, and may you always awaken to the pleasure and the love and the acceptance and the grace and the mercy of the one who died for you and for whatever reason chooses to bless you. And I mean, it's crazy. Grace is ridiculous. May you experience another measure of grace in your life today and this year and forevermore. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Hey, thanks again for tuning in. You don't want to miss next week. We have a special treat for you. We have Brad Lomenick on the show. You don't want to miss it. We're going to have a great time with him.
I think that's the week after there, sweet Nicholas.
Next week. Next week is when they're going to be able to see that.
Producer Bryson seems confused.
He usually is.
Yeah,
that's all right.
There's going to be a show next week. We can't wait for you to see it. There's going to be a guest.
It might be 2 weeks. So I do want to throw out there, it could be me that's wrong on this.
It is.
Anyway, here's the deal. We are so excited that you've been a part of this Reach Out Celebration series. Again, make sure you're dropping down in the comments any questions you have for us as we're gearing up for our Manna Mailbag series. There it is.
Ooh,
there it is.
AMA, by the way, in case you're wondering, means ask me anything.
Were people wondering that?
I don't know, but
Okay.
I was looking at it for a minute like, what the heck is the AMA episode?
Ask me anything. There it is. All right. Good.
It's just for me.
Well, God bless you guys. May you have a great week. And come on, until next time, let's change the world. Check out our website, manna.church, to find ways you can get connected with our services, small groups, outreaches, and more.